Welcome back to Market Day Report. Thanks for staying with us. As Nebraska ranchers work to recover from wildfires, a complex landscape of legal and tax hurdles that could lay ahead. Beyond the loss of forage and livestock, the recovery process, it does involve navigating disaster programs and IRS regulations. Roger McEowen with the Washburn School of Law joins us now for a closer look. Roger, always a pleasure to cover this. I know we talked about this a few weeks back during the Oklahoma fires, but obviously everything happening in Nebraska right now, time to do a little bit of a refresher in case anybody's watching, trying to navigate this at home. Destroyed land, fencing, they're being forced maybe to sell cattle early. These ranchers have a lot to worry about. Let's talk about the main tax issues that they need to be keeping in mind right now.
Well, good to be with you, Suzanne. And yes, there are a lot of problems for the ranchers in the Sandhills. And this is close to the area where I first started practicing back in the early 1990s. I was in North Platte, but my wife and I and our son and daughter lived up in the Sandhills. And I was also a county attorney in Logan County, one of the Sandhill counties. So I know a lot of the people involved in this pretty well. But for livestock, there are two provisions. And one allows for a 1-year deferral of gain if you're on the cash method accounting. The area, it must be designated as one for federal assistance. So watch that designation coming. I'm sure that that will come. Now, deferral for the income is for the livestock that are sold in excess of what you would normally sell in a given tax year. So it only applies to the excess amount. Now, that's a 1-year deferral. Another provision is involuntary conversion. So you can basically use 1033 of the Internal Revenue Code and treat that as an involuntary conversion so that you don't have to report the gain. You can take the gain on excess livestock, roll those into replacement animals, and then defer the gain until you sell those replacement animals. Now, normally it's a 4-year replacement period. That can be extended at the discretion of the Secretary on 1-year intervals. If we continue to have either drought or disasters like this, they can extend that. So you get two provisions on that with respect to livestock. On the fences that have been destroyed, there'll be a lot of that if they were wooden posts. And this is an area that they have a lot of wooden posts, and those would be fully depreciated out. So there's no tax benefit there. There's no deduction on that. But you can use bonus depreciation, expense method depreciation to get a current deduction as you replace those. Plus, there may be some state law benefits too.
The best resources for those that are affected right now to have this information, to make sure that they're getting all their ducks in a row, is that through their insurance companies? Is that through somebody like you?
Yeah, well, they definitely want to be talking to their insurance agents as to what coverage they might have from on an insurance basis. And that affects the tax policy or the tax result also, because that can affect, again, your basis and whether you can claim a deduction in an item because you have to account for any insurance that's recovered. So you want to be talking to your insurance agent. You want to be talking to your CPA if you have one. I've got a lot of resources on my website. You and I talked about this about a month ago with respect to the Oklahoma and Kansas fires. That article is on my website, or RFD-TV's website, for my blog there. So those are the areas to look at. And then, of course, USDA has got numerous programs. There are various programs. They're all over the board. And you need to be talking to FSA people in your local offices and keeping good records and watching your deadlines on those USDA programs.
Yeah, absolutely. And from what we hear, too, even though these fires are pretty much contained, they're not out of the woods on this because of drought and temperatures. So our thoughts and prayers going out to everybody affected there and praying for some wet weather. Roger, always great to have all this information. You are just incredible with that. We do appreciate you joining us. Roger McEowen with the Washburn School of Law.